Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire.
And how you doing, folks? Welcome to another episode of World of Tanks with Scout. I was reviewing my playlist today and I noticed that I don't have a whole lot of French tanks. In fact, I've only got one video up right now starring a French tank, so that led me to buy this thing, the AMX 12T. It is the tank that follows the ELC AMX and the French light and medium tree. And, I'm not really sure what to make of it. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time reviewing this tank. It's pretty simple. It's got 600 hit points, weighs in at 12.37 tons in its current configuration. And it's only got a 250 horsepower engine, which means that it has a significantly lower horsepower to ton ratio than the ELC AMX. It does get up to its top speed of 60 kilometers an hour. But its acceleration is nowhere near as good as the ELC. 38 degree per second traverse speed on the hull also means it doesn't turn nearly as well as the ELC, and in fact it'll bleed off some speed as you're trying to turn, which presents some problems of its own. No armor to speak of course. We're not even going to discuss it. If you get hit in this thing, it's going to go through. It does have an auto-loading 76mm gun, and that's probably the one thing that I want to talk about here. As you can see, it's got, 75mm gun. As you can see, it's got 6 shells in the magazine. The time of one shell loading is 2.22 seconds. Average penetration is 144mm, and average damage is 135 points of damage. And what that means is that in about 13 to 14 seconds, you can put out 810 points of damage, assuming that you hit with all 6 rounds and all 6 penetrate. The gun's reasonably accurate, .36, and 2.5 second aim time is not that bad. And really, what I try to do with this tank is assassinate other tanks, because if you look at the view range really isn't that good. 380 meters. If we start comparing that to, here's my other new toy, the I Want to Be a Panther, it's got a 370 meter view range. If we look at even the T-34, the T-34-85, 360 meter view range. So its view range really isn't good enough to scout unless you're going to put other modules on it. I'm looking for the Jumbo. I think the Jumbo's got pretty crappy view range. Yeah, 330. And of course the Russian heavies typically have craptastic view range. So you can, to some degree, scout, but your view range is going to let you down. If you really want to scout, you need to put either coated optics or binoculars on this thing. Because running it as I am now, you just can't see far enough. They see you at about the same time you see them, and at least until you get your camouflage skill higher. Mine's only 37%. So, oh yeah, one other thing I wanted to point out to you guys about this tank, I almost forgot. Look at the back of it here. You see how obviously, if you elevate the gun, the back part of the turret comes down, and if you look, you see they've cut the back of the tank away here so that you have room to elevate the gun. Not true on the sides at all. So, what you're going to find is if you have your turret over the side deck and you try to elevate, you can't get your gun up very much at all because the back of your turret starts hitting the side of your tank right here. And same thing for depression. It's got mediocre gun depression, But once you get the turret anywhere other than straight ahead, where you can tell the hull is shaped to accommodate the turret movement, you really have no elevation or depression, which makes scouting in this tank kind of tricky. For example, Al Haluf, if you want to run down the valley and race over to the switchback road on Al Haluf, you don't have the gun elevation or depression unless you're pointing straight at where you want to look to get your gun up to defend yourself. So something you want to keep in mind. Other than that, it's a fun little tank. I really haven't learned how to drive it yet. So without further ado, let's take a look at some replay footage. Here we are, folks, my first ever game in the AMX 12T. We've got a tier 7 game on Muravenka. Really not bad tiering for this tank, by the way. I regularly get thrown into tier 10 games as a scout, where if you think your view range is bad in tier 6 games, you should try it in tier 10. So, nothing really to complain about. My initial thought was I'm going to be a good little scout and zip down south here through the forest and see if I can get eyes on campers who always pitch tents and grill hot dogs on the hill at Hotel 9. Magazine reload isn't bad, as you just saw. And I pull into my little bush here and I'm thinking, you know what? This really isn't a great spot. First of all, yeah, the front of my tank's sticking out. Second of all, I can't see anyone behind the building to my right. Yep. And even if I could see someone to my front, the bushes there are going to obscure my view until they're right on top of me and they're going to proxy spot me. So, how do I get up there and get eyes on that hill without also exposing my tank? Because there's big tanks over there. There's big guns, SU-152, and I scale it. So, we're going to move up through the bushes. Stop short here. Well, still got a tree line in front of me, and that probably is where I need to go, but oh god. No, don't come over here and proxy spot me. No, oh god. There's one shot. 2, 3, 4, and he's gone. Oh, proxy spotted me right at the end. Fortunately, the T-29 kills that VK3001P that was looking at me. And we're going to stop moving, settle into this bush, get the camo net back up, and hope that there's no one else that got up on that hill to get eyes on me. I'm not seeing any more shots flying, so I'm going to use this opportunity to force a reload on the magazine, because I want to go back forward and get eyes on that hill for my team, but I don't want to do it with only 2 rounds in my magazine. Looks like the VK3001P's got the same idea. He's going to move up. We got some heavy tanks and a tank destroyer behind us. So, you know what? Let's do it. Gonna call yourself scout, and being a scout tank, you probably ought to scout, huh? Now look at this T-49. Watch him. Ow, ow, ow. Big tanks. Keep moving. Keep moving. And oh god, SU-152. First shot misses. There we get a pen. Oh, look out. Olay! And he crashes at the bottom of the hill. Now here's where I make my mistake. I really want to finish this SU-152. I come up, try to shoot on the move. Miss my second and third shots entirely. Because of the gun depression, the shots go right over him, and then, like a scrub, I drive straight into all these heavy tanks. So yeah. And you know, that was really what the first couple of tank games in this tank were like. Just entirely too aggressive, overestimating my health pool and what the gun can and can't do, and getting myself killed way too early in the game. So yeah, let it never be said that I don't have my moments of suck as well. Let's take a look at a different video. So what we have here is a tier 8 game on Serene Coast. The game hasn't been going very long, and you can see what I've been doing is skulking around up here on this hill trying to spot. Again, my view range let me down, and realizing that, look, I can't depress the gun at all. Look at this, is the extent of the gun depression, and until I turn the tank, I can't get the gun down low enough to do anything, even if I did spot a juicy target that I wanted to shoot at, like a KV-1S with 19 hit points left. Look, gun depression just doesn't cut it. You have to work the hull in conjunction with the turret to try to get your gun depression to a spot where it'll work for you. And I'm way too far forward on this hill anyway. Now you see that T-32 that's pushing south. He was on the mini-map. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move up here and spot for the team, see if I can see anyone else skulking around where this KV-1S is. And if not, make sure those guys don't see me. Yeah, I'm going to swing in behind that T-32 and assassinate him. Now keep in mind what I said. Best case, average, you're going to do 810 points of damage with a full magazine, assuming everything hits and penetrates. So what I'm going to do is hurry up, get myself down here without breaking my tracks. That's why I have improved suspension as a module. And there we go. The Tiger just jumped on the T-32, put a shot into him, and now we're going to come up behind him and try to assassinate him. Take your time, aim, and still one shot drifts high in the back of the turret. There's a second hit, third, fourth, fifth, and there's the sixth. Just mauled that T-32. And now we're going to pull in behind this rock and wait for the magazine to reload. It's not really a bad reload time on the magazine, as you just saw. I mean, it's not great, but it ain't god awful either. Now we're going to come back up, see if maybe I can't squeak in a couple of shots on this Comet. Here again. Gun depression, I have to come all the way up. There's one shot, two shots, and a third into the Comet. And now what you're seeing now is the mediocre acceleration of the AMX 12T. I really think the ELC would have got me out of that spot a lot quicker. And I took a couple of extra hits there just because the AMX 12T, it doesn't have awful acceleration, it's just not as good as you would expect. That's the point I'm trying to make. Now you can see me trying to move up. I got 3 shots left in the magazine. I'd like to put a couple of them into this M6. Thank you, IS-3. We really needed you to rape that M6. Come on, man. Oh, I'm just teasing, of course. I don't blame him. I kill every tank I get a chance to kill. So we're going to hide behind this rock here and reload the magazine. And then I want to scoot down over there and try to get behind that T-28 prototype. Start moving before the magazine's fully reloaded, because it'll be done by the time I get there. And I'm really afraid that these 3 tanks off to my right are going to maul this T-28 before I can get there. Go, go, go. Aww. And unfortunately, that's really it for this game. The M40, M43 is way over there in the water. They're going to get to him before I get to get a shot in. And really, this is an example of me doing the opposite. I was a well-executed ambush on that T-32, but that's really all I did this game. So unfortunately, my score for this game is pretty low as well. We go from one extreme to the other. And I also wanted to use this to show you some of the gun elevation and depression issues of the tank. So let's take a look at one more video. Oh, look at that. I did get 1 shot into the M40, M43. I lied. So, one more video. So what you see here, folks, is a tier 7 game on Pearl River. Again, might seem a little less than ideal, but really, if you're not in a tier 10 game in this tank, it's good. And what we're going to do here is we're going to run south all the way down to the K line and then work those trails west all the way back to the west edge of the map and then come up the 1 line. And the idea is to jump on some of these tier 5 medium tanks and tank destroyers, and then hopefully ambush some of the higher tier tank destroyers that are camping, parked in a bush somewhere, and not paying enough attention to what's going on around them. You can see we're in the lead, by far probably the fastest thing pushing down in this direction, with the possible exception of the Leopard. That Hellcat got out there in front of us though. You can see that we're actually about as fast as a Hellcat. I think he got an early start is why he's out there in front of me. So we're going to keep pushing. As long as the Hellcat wants to play scout, we'll let him. And there's our first contact. PZ-38. He goes by the Hellcat. I don't blame him. Hello. And that's probably the only time you will ever see an AMX 12T bounce a shot, is when it's being shot at by a tier 4 scout tank. So we got 3 shots left in the magazine. The Hellcat's in a bad way with his VK-2801, so we're going to come up and try to give him a little assistance. There you go, Mr. Hellcat. Don't say I never did nothing for you. And now we're going to park here and reload the magazine. And that Hellcat's bound and determined to go get a scout medal, isn't he? If I was him, I'd find a bush. To each their own. If he wants to run out in front of me, I'm not going to complain. Moving on up, there's a Churchill. Now I would dash out and assassinate him, but I'm kind of, yeah, see, that's what I was waiting on. Somebody sitting up high overwatching him. Now come here, Mr. Flak Bus, we got something for you. There's one shot, totally ruins his day, drops him about a third of his health, maybe a little more. Can't get another shot. Don't think, yeah, they're gonna finish off. Wow, they finished off the Churchill and the Flak Bus. So let's go ahead and move on up, continue to push. Coming up this hill, and there's a Yag Panther. Now what I'm going to do, you see him backing off. I think he's backing off to turn around and orient his gun south. So we're going to go high up this hill and then come down, use the downhill momentum to quickly get around, hopefully behind him, and assassinate him like we did the T-32 earlier. Coming down the hill, cut that corner a little bit too tight. There's one. Oh, that one goes over because of the bump in the road. 2, 3, 4, and we're out because we fired that shot earlier. So we'll use the speed to get up beside them, try to clear the gun line of the folks up high, and they finish them off. So we're going to find us a deep dark hole and reload this magazine. And now that that's up, we'll continue to advance north. I'm going to take the high road here because I'm anticipating either the SU-152 or maybe the SU-14-1 camping up here on this high road. And you know, I don't really like to move in a column with everyone else. Conducting a movement to contact in the column formation is among the most tactically stupid decisions that I see repeated over and over and over in World of Tanks. But, you know, it's a video game, not real life. Two don't necessarily equate very well. Well, now that he's done, didn't expect the SU-14-1 to be in the river, we're going to go down here and try to get behind the last of their tanks. Now, credit to this M6 driver, he was obviously paying attention to his minimap, and he turned around to try to fight the horde coming up behind him, but he's very clearly outclassed. Now watch this. I want a shot on the M6. He keeps backing up, so when you come out and use him as cover, eat the shot, because I know he can't kill me in one shot. Put one into his flank, kill him, and the whole time use him as cover from the SU-152. I hate it when my own teammates back into my shot like that. You know that SU-152 driver's cussing, because if he hits me, Yeah, they'll be cleaning me off the bottom of the ground with a sponge, because this tank would just be obliterated. Panther goes up there. There's the SU-152 shot, so now we're going to come out, put shots into his flank. 1, 2, you see he knows he can one-shot me. He's trying. Come on, lower glacis. There we go. And we get our 4th kill. Now we start the reload on the magazine, even though I really don't think we're going to get up here in time to kill this tiger. And there he goes. Panther got the kill. So that's game. 15-3. Pretty significant drubbing. Let's take a look at the results screen. So you can see here that we got 18,577 credits for that victory, 840 experience, non-doubled, non-premium, and actually got a sniper medal. If we take a look at the team scores, you'll see that we did 1,382 points of damage, got credit for 4 kills, giving us our 840 experience, which is good enough for 2nd on the team, behind that suicidal Hellcat. And the other team just didn't play very well at all. They had so many tanks that did nothing, including their Artie. That was a huge hit for them. T-150 is the only guy that put in any work on that team. So what can you do? Looking at the detailed report, we fired 15 shots, 14 of which hit, 12 penetrated, giving us our 1,382 damage, and took 2 hits, one of which didn't penetrate. It says penetration, but one did no damage, that shot from that PZ. And got no spotting or assistance damage whatsoever, and that's probably where I'm falling down with this tank. I really have to learn how to scout and do reconnaissance better in this tank. But that's it, folks, for the AMX 12T today. It's a really fun tank. If you enjoy moving about the battlefield quickly and having the lethality of an auto-loading 75mm gun, you should really give it a shot. You may not do great with it. I don't do great with it, but I sure do enjoy it. So if you're considering it, go ahead and give it a shot. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.